Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A little more than 3 months after helping lead the Eagles to their second Super Bowl title, head coach Nick Sirianni's agreed to a multi-year extension. Former Jets GM Joe Douglas back with Philadelphia in a senior scouting role. He was the Eagles' VP of player personnel from 2016 to 2019. NFL owners will meet tomorrow and Wednesday to vote on a handful of proposals. One would ban the tush push, a play the Eagles have excelled at and was run on 0.28% of all plays in the NFL last season. Eliminating it wouldn't be a bad thing, according to ESPN NFL analyst Dominique Foxworth.
It encourages a style of play that we want to get away from, and a style of play that's not fun. So the Eagles have had a great time with it, I think. And no disrespect to them, they've created something that's really awesome for them, but no one wants to watch it. Run the ball, do a play action, do something more fun on 4th and short.
Two-time defending Indy 500 winner Joseph Newgarden and Team Penske teammate Will Power will have to start from the final 2 spots on the grid for Sunday's race after their teams were penalized for violating the rules during qualifying weekend.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Tuesday with the NFL owners scheduled to meet this week, Adam Schefter will tell us if the tush push will finally be banned when he joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Welcome back, Paulie. Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Michael Brockers in 15 minutes. Luch is here next hour. Get going. Gordon McKernan in studio with us in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, by the hardest, but they did it. Baseball Tigers win 2 out of 3 in Columbia against South Carolina. Gagged away one on Thursday. Was not pleased, but they came back Friday and Saturday behind their horses, Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson. They win games 2 and 3. They win the series, and now LSU's resume is kind of complete. You're going to look at LSU's resume, how it stacks up now against the other teams predominantly in the SEC for national seeds. And we've spelled this out. Shouldn't be any secret to anybody by now. LSU on the season, 30-5 at the box. They're 8-8 away from the box. You want to be a top 8 national seed so that your path to Omaha runs through Alex Box Stadium. Talked about it many times. By now you know this format's existed since 1999 with the Super Regionals. LSU has never advanced to Omaha when having to travel for a Super Regional. So yes, for all the reasons in the world, it makes sense for this team and every LSU team to have the advantage of playing the regional and Super Regional round at Alex Box Stadium. So now it's all about making sure you've locked up a national seed. It is my opinion, and very clearly stated my opinion, that LSU has done that. They're 19-11 in the SEC. They got a top 10 RPI. I think it doesn't matter what happens in Hoover this week, but I can also understand. Hunt has a great piece up right now at louisianasports.net, sort of balancing out all the different resumes of the contenders. If you want to go read it, it's there. It's a resume preview. It's free, as always. And I understand the argument. And outside of Texas and Arkansas, you're talking about LSU, Vandy, Auburn. You're talking about a handful of teams that are all jockeying for a national seed. I like where LSU is. And D1 baseball today, updating their field of 64, currently has LSU as the number 7 seed in the field of 64, so a national seed. If you're looking at who you should cheer against, you should cheer against Oregon out of the Big Ten. They want to share the Big Ten title this weekend. You should cheer against Florida State. North Carolina has probably locked up a national seed. I think Kendall was here with us last week, and I think everybody knows the ACC champion is going to be a national seed. The real question is how many SEC teams are going to get a national seed. It could be 4, 5, 6. As many as 6 would be wild to see if there is 6, but it's a very real possibility that could happen. So Georgia is the one that I should have mentioned. I failed to mention a minute ago. But we'll go into Hoover this weekend and see how it all plays out. From LSU's perspective, I think the other big question is how do you handle Hoover? And I think the answer to that question is whether or not Jay Johnson feels like they have a national seed locked up. Now, what I would do and what Jay Johnson would do are probably very different things. So I'll just tell you what I think Jay is going to do based on his history. I think he's going to throw Cade Anderson on Friday. And I don't think that's like some super outlandish thing to try to surmise here. I'll reference again in 2023. LSU threw Paul Skeens in the opening game of the SEC tournament. Now, he only went 3 2/3 against Arkansas that day. Got roughed up a little bit. But it was an outing where Paul Skeens wasn't going to extend deep. It was all about setting up for the next weekend in regional play. That next weekend in regional play, you remember that LSU played Tulane, which was a sub-500 baseball team, won their conference tournament, got the auto bid, got sent to Baton Rouge, and Jay Johnson threw Skeens against Tulane. I remember watching before the game. It was the day game, the first game, and I remember, when Jay made that announcement just right before first pitch, we all found out. I think it was Mike Rooney who was on the ESPN broadcast, who kind of was just like former coach, just kind of like was beside himself at the notion. But it just goes to show that Jay is not going to leave anything to chance. Right? Wrong? It doesn't matter what you think, what I think. Like, he's the coach of the program, and he's going to do what he wants, and he's not going to leave things to chance. And we see that pretty consistently. There's a large enough sample size. So if you have an opportunity on Friday to go win a game and further solidify yourself as a top 8 national seed, I think he's going to do it. And it helps tremendously how the bracket fell. Because you are the 3 seed, you play on Friday. So LSU will be the second game on Friday. The first game will be at 3 o'clock. After that game will be the second game, which will be LSU against, you'll have Texas A&M and Mississippi State play, and the winner of that game on Wednesday. The winner of that game plays Auburn on Thursday. The winner will play LSU on Friday. So it stands to reason that because you're going to be on your regular rest, that Jay can throw Cade Anderson on Friday. And even if he doesn't extend him to 115 pitches, whatever it may be, even if he says, all right, 75, 80 pitches, whatever that may be, I still think he'll throw. And you can approach this weekend as Anderson, Ianson, and then whatever you do in Game 3. Is it Kason Evans? Is it Chase Shores? Is it Jaden Newt? Whoever's available there with the TBA to try to win an SEC tournament championship. Again, you don't have to extend any of your guys, especially Anderson, Ianson, but you can get them work on Friday, Saturday, provided you advance. The other side of it is you could just approach it and say, if you feel like you've got a national seed locked up, you could go treat Friday as a bullpen day and throw a different pitcher every inning, probably bow out. You give Anderson and Ianson a week off, No different than in Major League Baseball, how guys, if they're feeling fatigued, they just skip their turn in the rotation and then pick up the next time it comes around to them. I don't think that is an unrealistic option. I just don't think that's what Jay Johnson's going to do. We'll see how they approach it as we move throughout the week. Tigers will travel on Wednesday. They'll practice Thursday, I presume, at Hoover High, and then they'll play on Friday against one of the three teams we mentioned. And if there isn't, we'll do a lot of scoreboard watching this week, around conference tournaments. But ultimately, cheer against Oregon, cheer against Florida State, probably cheer against Oregon State too, cheer against Florida State. Probably love to see Auburn lose, love to see Georgia lose. I mean, you look at the teams that are jockeying in the SEC for those national seeds, assuming Texas, Arkansas, they're locks. So if you're looking at LSU, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn as the others, you'd love to see those other teams lose. So it's kind of what you're cheering for this week. But LSU's positioned themselves really well. It would have been wonderful if you would have gotten the sweep against South Carolina, but you did what you had to do, which was was not even so much winning that weekend, but not losing that weekend. Because losing that weekend to South Carolina would have been an awful blemish on the record and would have stuck you at 18 league wins. Instead, at 19-11, another series win. You won 7 of your 10 weekends. Your 3 series losses were all on the road. You still got a top 10 RPI. You've positioned yourself just fine to be a top 8 national seed. We'll find out a week from today if, in fact, the Tigers have done it. Of course, they could leave no doubt if they're able to go to Hoover this week and win a couple of games. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. I know we told you last week as well. Anheuser-Busch investing $300 million in American manufacturing jobs. Another great way that they continue to be invested in our community, of course, in all of our communities here in the U.S. And if you're going to be watching baseball, if you're watching the NBA conference finals, if you're watching the NHL playoffs, whatever it may be, nothing goes together better than grilling and Bud. So make sure that if you're throwing some meat on the grill, true American summer pastime, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Saints, the official beer of the Tigers. All right, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. Caught up with Michael Brockers on Radio Row at Super Bowl, and pretty excited to have Brockers back with us here. He's actually spending a couple days this week out in L.A., on the NFL Network doing Good Morning Football, and had an opportunity to get Brockers on with us today, so we'll do that. I'll get his thoughts on the report from this weekend from Jeff Duncan that the Saints are not interested in pursuing Aaron Rodgers. Who should they pursue, if anybody, at quarterback? We'll ask Michael Brockers when we continue. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics, and of course the Advanced Turnaround Group, a subsidiary of Action Industries. Remember, as we move through turnaround season, really we're about a month or so already into turnaround season, but as we move through turnaround season, which as you know will last until about October, if you find yourself in need of a turnaround, you're looking for companies to bid your turnaround jobs, remember our friends over at Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group. With the Advanced Turnaround Group, of course, you're getting all the great personalized service that you get at Action Industries. This is just a subsidiary, right? It is a completely separate set of resources dedicated specifically to completing your turnaround. 24-hour availability for emergencies, specialty welding. Of course, you're going to get the personal attention and people whose entire careers are centered around turnaround work. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Glad you're rolling along with us here on a Monday edition of AFR. Always appreciate Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows and Relief.
Hey, Michael, can you hear me? Okay, perfect.
I'll give you some thoughts on that here in about half an hour from right now. Well, if you're flipping through NFL Network this morning on Good Morning Football, you might have caught former LSU Tiger Michael Brockers, good enough to jump aboard with us here out from L.A. Yo, man, good to talk again. How are you?
Man, I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How's the wake-up call?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I've done it before, so I was already, prepared to wake up at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, to get prepared for my call. So, if I wasn't already prepared for it, it would have been miserable.
You caught a nap?
Definitely called a nap. Definitely called a nap. I needed that for sure.
I hear you, man. Hey, it was cool to see at the draft that you got to call a few picks. How did that all come together?
Man, just out of nowhere. Just they gave me the opportunity to reach out to my lady, Miss Yolanda, and talk to her and the opportunity, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. When somebody gives you an opportunity to go to the draft and give out a pick, I think you should take it. So that's what I did.
Is it the Rams that reached out, or does the NFL pick?
I think it was the NFL. I don't think they were necessarily like the Rams organization. I think it was just a good look for the NFL.
Yeah. Michael Brockers is with us. So you're kind of putting on the analyst cap this week. Let me ask you some things that are super relevant here in Louisiana with the Saints right now. Over the weekend, we saw a report from Jeff Duncan that the Saints will not pursue Aaron Rodgers as a veteran quarterback option. What do you think, man? Should the Saints pursue a guy like Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, in my years of experience, brother, you can't win without a quarterback. You can't win in this league. And, the important games, in January and things like that, December and January, without a quarterback. So to see an organization not focus on a quarterback, but, we are talking about a, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers as well. So, there's play on both sides.
So how much of the look, Rodgers played 17 games last year with the Jets. They just weren't a very good team. So when you looked at the Jets last year, how much of it was aging Aaron Rodgers? How much of it is they just don't have a good enough roster to compete?
I don't know, man. I watch the game and I'm watching it as, an athlete, and I'm watching him. He's throwing a lot of things off the back foot. Not sure how the Achilles is, has healed up, and a lot of those passes were underthrown and things like that. And he still had zip on the ball, but really putting weight on that back leg and really letting it go. We will see if he can still do it. I think he'll be on one of these teams. Everybody needs a quarterback at some point in time. So hopefully we'll see it this season.
Michael Brockers is our guest. I'm glad you brought up the whole you can't win without a great quarterback. I would love to know your feelings as well as a guy like who could relate to some of the veteran players on this Saints team, Brock, where like it feels very much like the Saints are going to be in the midst of a rebuild, but how do you go to work? What is the feeling like as a veteran player on this roster right now, looking around going, man, this probably isn't going to be a great season?
Man, being on a team that, was dealing with, a quarterback identity, defensively, you feel like we got to get it done. If offense, they feel like they can't get it done. Defensively, we got to get turnovers. We got to be, extra aggressive. We got to, get touchdowns, to get out there and help this team win a game. You don't practice for no reason. They don't put in game plans for no reason. Sorry about that.
What was that?
But they
what
don't.
Was that?
Looking at it, I think it's a helicopter. They don't put in game plans for no reason. So you go out there practicing, preparing to win the game, but the defense, they feel like they got most of their veteran leaders on the defense. They feel like they got to get it done.
When you all drafted Jared Goff with the Rams, did you feel like you could win immediately?
With Sean McVay, man, and that whole staff when they came in, and just the belief they had in themselves, he really told us, like, man, defensively, if you guys keep it up, keep doing what you're doing, we were, in the top defenses in the league, he was like, man, offensively, I'm gonna come in here and, change this thing up. So, we just believed in the system. He treated us as men. He held us accountable. I think that was a really big thing, as players, just, held us to the highest standard, didn't try to change us, personally, but, just held us to a high standard. And, if everybody really wants to win games in this league, everybody bought in. So I think that's what, made him so successful and, why he is who he is today.
There's another guy on that staff who you got to play under. That was the defensive coordinator with the Rams in 2020. And that was Brandon Staley, who's now in New Orleans as well. What was it like playing for Brandon Staley?
Staley was cool, man. Staley, it was funny. He always correlated because I think he's a basketball guy by nature, in his heart. So he attended a lot of things to the basketball game, and he talked about some of the greats that played basketball. But he was a pleasure to play with. His mind mentally, how he thinks about the game, how he wants to attack the game, and things like that. So it was very pleasing to play under him and be successful with that group of guys.
What would you describe as his style, how he plays?
Very aggressive, like, for us D linemen, man, we want to get after the quarterback. And, if he has a group of guys he feels like can get after the quarterback without blitzing and things like that, he'll let us roll. So, having AD and having all these tremendous players, surrounding him, one-on-ones, we can get our one-on-ones and get after the quarterback without blitzing. It makes the defensive game so much easier. So, you don't have to scheme up, other blitzes and things like that. But he loves to get after the quarterback.
Michael Brockers is with us. Got two more for you. You said talking about being a defensive lineman. Tush push. Ban it or keep it?
I don't. I mean, I said it this morning, man. I don't think you need to ban it because it's a quarterback sneak. I mean, it's been run for centuries. It just so happened they have guys and the players to make it more successful. So I think defensively we have to figure out how we can beat it or load up on that one side. I don't know, but. I don't think you ban a play because they're having, much success with it. It's our job defensively to stop it.
Your other former team, the Lions, have proposed changing the playoff seeding so it would be just by record, not the division winners getting the top seeds. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. How it's been going. I mean, division seeds and the records. I know because you have some of those 8-8 teams that can squeak in. But if you win the games, man, nobody can complain. So go out there and win the games. I think that's the most important thing.
Brock, you on NFL Network again tomorrow?
I am.
Good deal. So Good Morning Football. What time you get cranked up?
Man, I think show starts 6 a.m. Eastern, maybe. I don't know. I'm be honest with you. I know it's so early for me. I don't know what time it is on the East Coast. So it's just gonna be early. So we're gonna be everybody that's can eat breakfast and cut on the TV, watch some Good Morning Football.
Former Tiger great Michael Brockers. Catch him tomorrow on Good Morning Football on NFL Network. Thanks, man. Always great to chat.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. That's Michael Brockers. This is After Further Review, our show every day, brought to you by Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Remember, it's the patented non-toxic dry fog. Kill mold, remove odor. It's a time of year where, it's wet. It rains all the time, and it's hot and humid. Heat, humidity, and rain, breeding ground for mold. That's why we live in the mold capital of the world. Have mold, think you might. Parish Restoration can help. Go to parishrestoration.com. Listen, Parish Restoration, they have fogged governmental buildings, schools, medical facilities, office buildings, churches, your home, your vehicle. Go to parishrestoration.com. It's efficient and it's cost effective to other remediation routes. Have mold or think you might, or it's got odor, maybe pet odor. Maybe you bought a car that used to be a smoker, or you're in a home where someone was a smoker. You want to lift that odor. They can do it. Parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Appreciate Brockers. Interesting to hear Brockers there be in favor of keeping the tush push. It just feels like the overwhelming support has been to ban the tush push. But that's a guy that had been right there in the middle of it, man. I mean, interior defensive line, you're the one eating the brunt of that. And he's like, keep it, man. It's our job to stop it. Problem is nobody can stop it. Personally, I hate the play. I might feel differently if the Eagles were my team, but it doesn't feel like a football play. It feels like a rugby scrum. We're not playing rugby, we're playing football. So I have no problem with the quarterback sneak. But lining up people behind the quarterback to push the quarterback forward, I do have a problem with that. So just like you're not allowed to pull a player forward, I don't know. We'll see what they do. I don't think it's earth-shattering either way. I understand why we're talking about it. But if it were my preference, I would prefer they not be allowed to push a player from behind. But in any event, we'll see how it all goes. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. David Dellucci will be here at the top of Hour 2. Normally, Luch is with us in Hour 3 on Mondays, but we've got Gordon McKernan coming in studio. Excited about that. Rev shares right around the bend. Gordon's been so central a figure in the NIL game these last 4 years. So whenever we get G in studio with us, always happy to do that. So Gordon will be in studio. We'll talk some NIL in Hour number 3. So David Dellucci in 30 minutes. Stick around. We'll go around the SEC next.
After Further Review.
Chatting with Darren James on Saturday. As a matter of fact, he was driving back from, it was about, 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. He was already driving back from listing appointments in Springfield. Dude's all over the place. And it was so encouraging because, we saw in this past few years some rate hikes, but you're starting to see rates come down and the market is on fire. If you are thinking of selling your home, do not wait. Call Darren James, 335-7666. 335-7666. That's Darren's cell. Write it down, text him. I guarantee you he'll reply to you. It's not a call service. It is the phone in Darren James's pocket. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Remember, as always, Darren has his guaranteed sale program. You hire Darren, he'll sit down with you, agree to a price and a deadline for him to sell your home. If he doesn't sell it at that price by that deadline, he'll sell it for free or have it bought with cash.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Join us Friday, May 23rd at the South Stadium Club in Tiger Stadium for delicious food, drinks, and the ultimate allocated 100-bottle bourbon raffle hosted by Ducks Unlimited. Plus, participate in live and silent auctions and raffles for rare bottles. Sign up at 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win $100 packs of raffle tickets and the grand prize, $500 raffle pack. For tickets and more information, visit dubourbonraffle.com.
How about Jakeem Stewart? Pretty cool thing. Scott Schrader on X is the one who posted this, but I guess, well, forgive me, this is courtesy of Legendary Sports. This was at his graduation from Edna Karr, which is still kind of odd, as you recall, that Jakeem Stewart was at St. Aug and then left St. Aug before his junior year because he wanted to reclassify. So he left St. Aug and went to Edna Karr, but was deemed ineligible, so didn't play this final season at Edna Karr. Did, in fact, reclassify, committed to and signed with Southern Cal, but went through his graduation proceedings at Edna Karr this past weekend and made a pretty cool announcement as well.
First, I want to thank God for letting us get here to graduate. I want to congratulate everybody that is here. I know everybody had a long time, a long journey. Next, I would like to thank Edna Karr for just accepting me and welcome home in September. Coming from St. Aug, it was a long journey, especially with football and everything. Special thanks to Coach Bryce, Dr. Washington, all my teachers, all the football coaches, and everybody who just accepted me with open arms. With that being said, I would like to donate $10,000 to the football facility.
That's pretty cool. So if you couldn't hear, I know the audio was a little rough, but he said he's donating $10,000 to the football facility for a recovery center at Edna Karr. Now, personally, I kind of look at that and I'm like, awesome gesture, but you kind of played at St. Aug. I mean, maybe... Now look, St. Aug wasn't going to let you reclassify. So I understand moving to Karr is how you're able to do it. And yeah, I guess what's the old no good deed goes unpunished sort of thing. But in any event, hat tip, could have pocketed that money. Instead, going to donate $10,000 to Edna Karr for Recovery Center, which is a cool thing to do. So it's much easier to look at Jakeem Stewart not picking LSU when he's on the West Coast playing for Southern Cal. Say it all the time. If you can't, it stinks missing out on top-tier players from Louisiana, especially ones that you invested so much money, time, resource into recruiting. But if you can't get them, you want to go far away. So go far away so you never have to see him again. So good luck to Jakeem Stewart out there at the Southern Cal. And look, if it doesn't go well this year, remember, you can always come home. Hey, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. If you need tires, remember, Shawbills can help. They'll sell you name-brand tires at wholesale prices. And they'll treat you like family. Like I told you, my father-in-law went to Shawbills a few weeks back. Tire was leaking air. Brought it in, put it up on the rack. Within 20 minutes, had the tires patched. Nothing to it. Didn't charge him anything. And he couldn't believe it. But, like, it didn't mention me or anything like that. Not that they would have anyway. It's just what they do for everybody. Because Mr. Charlie 60 years ago said that's the way you treat people. You just treat people right. You'll create loyal customers. You'll keep coming back year after year. And, of course, they always give you great deals. Like, how about this one? This is the Memorial Day offer. Get $80 back via reward card on any set of 4 new Toyo tires. Plus, you can get free installation, which is a $118 value when you use your Shawbills credit card. That deal is good May 16th through May 31st, so through the end of this month. You can see store or visit ShawBillsTire.com for full details. Subject to credit approval. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas defensive back Bryce Stevens will forego his remaining eligibility. He was a wide receiver punt returner for most of his career, but his final season of eligibility he'll forego. He graduated, would have been a redshirt senior, but instead he won't play. That exit brings Arkansas' scholarship number total down to 86.
The Missouri Tigers.
Defensive tackle coach Al Davis has resigned at Mizzou. David Blackwell will assume the position. Eli Drinkwitz, forgive me. Sorry, I lost my spot. So for Mizzou, Davis's replacement already on staff. David Blackwell, who's been on staff since 2023, assumes that role coaching the interior defensive lineman. Blackwell was a senior analyst in 2023 before becoming a defensive tackle coach with the program last season.
The Texas Longhorns.
Texas landed 3-star safety Yaheem Miami Riley. Guy's name is Miami. Where do you think he's from?
It's got to be a nickname. I think he's from the state of Texas.
I mean, if you already saw the story, don't don't blow it, Muse. Like, don't blow the bit. I could have gone a whole Forrest Gump. Tex. I don't remember where Tex is from. 5'11", 180, ranked number 775 overall, the 67th best safety in the country. Yaheem Miami Riley, who is Muse blew it. Told you, is from the state of Texas. Way to go, Muse. Blew it.
You blew it!
No, you did.
The Florida Gators.
Just step on the bit, Muse. See, we're picking up this week right where... Paulie! Welcome back, Paulie. How about that? Right where we left off, huh? Like, you didn't miss a thing.
Didn't miss anything.
Florida center Ruben Chinyelu is returning to Florida for his junior year. Explored the draft process, started 40 games for the Gators this past year, played 19 minutes per game. Also had 20 steals on the season. Not bad. Big old tall guy. Chinyelu returning to Florida. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Monday shows brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Luch will be here in 20 minutes from right now. We've got a lot to get to as well. If you missed it earlier today, LSU President William Tate resigned his position. He's accepting the same position at Rutgers, but there's more than meets the eye here, and I do want to talk about that. Make no mistake, this wasn't like a voluntary resignation. This was, hey, you're going to be fired, so go find a job. And the why and what it means for LSU athletics is something I want to get into, so we'll get to that here in the next hour. So a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here. When we come back, Bo Bentley, the top remaining uncommitted quarterback for the class of 2026, named as 2 finalists, and LSU is one of them. We'll get you caught up on LSU's odds of landing Bentley when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
So my niece graduated from St. Joseph's Academy on Sunday. Shout out Reese Anderman. And we had 2 families over at their house for the party. A shout out to Isabel Broom as well. It's probably 60, 70 people. Giant party. But my brother-in-law had a little bit of a issue. Yeah, their AC went out in the house. Not making this up. This weekend, hosting a party on Sunday, graduation party. Saturday, the AC's out in the house. Called River City's 1-hour air. Within 30 minutes, they had a technician at the house. He was fearing the worst. Turns out all he needed was a new thermostat, gauge, whatever device. Could have been way worse. Somebody could have upsold him. Been not true. Not River City's 1-hour air. They were there on the weekend. They had him up and running the same day. All was great. It's River City's 1-hour air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values.
committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
We'll get David Dellucci here in 16 minutes from right now. Remember, Gordon McKernan will be in studio with us to start hour number 3. Heading toward revenue share. We'll leave NIL as we know it now in the rearview mirror. So what does all that mean? We'll talk to Gordon again to start hour number 3. Over the weekend, Hayes Fawcett broke the news because he breaks all the recruiting news. Bo Bentley, the highest remaining uncommitted quarterback for the class of 2026, is down to 2. He'll pick between LSU and Oklahoma. Hayes Fawcett breaking that news over the weekend. And Bentley is one who we've talked about a good bit here. Just as the quick catch-up, and I'm sure most of you probably know this story by now, but I'll give you the Cliff's Notes for those that don't remember. So, of course, LSU had Bryce Underwood committed for the class of 2025, the number 1 prospect in the country for 2025. He had been committed for a year. As a result, a lot of the 2026 prospects had shied away from LSU, because they're looking at Underwood coming in 25 going, he'll be there for 3 years. I'm not going to sit and wait for 2 years before having my opportunity to start. So a lot of the elite 2026 guys committed elsewhere, and LSU wasn't really in the mix for any 2026 guys. Underwood in November, you know the story, flips to Michigan. LSU doesn't sign a quarterback for 2025, and now they're late to the game on all the elite 2026 prospects. Now, the good news is the transfer portal can fix a lot of this, or at least it can put duct tape on it, but you still have got to fortify your numbers at the most important position in organized team sports. And the thought always was, take Underwood in 25, you'd probably skip 26, and then get one of the elite guys in Louisiana, maybe Elijah Haven, for 2027. Well, all that's been flipped on its head. Underwood leaves, Ricky Collins, A.J. Swan leave. Now all you've got is Nuss and Colin Hurley. You go add Michael Van Buren out of the transfer portal, which effectively is the guy that replaces Ricky Collins when you think of it. The young veteran. That's effectively what you got in that spot. But you're still short on numbers for 2026, which is why getting someone like Bentley potentially is massive. So I'll give you the bio on Bo Bentley. He's out of Salina, Texas. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. And not only does he have good size, but he's a really versatile player. He threw for over 3,300 yards as a junior in high school, and he ran for nearly 1,000 yards as a junior in high school. 1,000 yards, and just under like 990 rushing yards and 16 rushing touchdowns as a junior in high school. So you're talking about a guy that has been super productive, both throwing the ball and running the ball, has good size. If you look at the On3 composite rankings, they got him as a high 4-star. In the composite, he's number 85 nationally, the number 9 quarterback. On3 specifically has him as the number 42 overall prospect and the 5th best quarterback. So whichever service you're looking at there, he's an elite guy. One of the other things that I always tell you about when it comes this, and this isn't something that I'm just saying here today, I always, when we talk recruiting, I'm less interested in star rating, ranking, all that stuff, and more interested in who has offered you. That to me is more validating for what type of player you are when I look at the offer list. Well, it's LSU and Oklahoma. It's down to LSU and Oklahoma. But there's Florida State and Ohio State and Georgia, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Boston College, Wisconsin, Cal, Duke, UCF, Georgia Tech, Arizona, Virginia Tech, Cincinnati. Go on and on the list. The guy's got 24 offers on the table. So, and some of the biggest programs in the country. So, yes, a guy that you would love to have. And I think it's so important because when you start to look at the quarterback position at LSU beyond 2025, it is a gigantic question mark. Like, you go into 25 with what I think is the best starting quarterback in college football. It's Nussmeier, it's Cade Klubnik, and I understand there's conversations about Drew Aller from Penn State, who started for 2 years, but I also think it's fair to question his ability in the big game because he's earned that reputation. Garrett Nussmeier is the only returning 4,000-yard passer in college football this year. So, and by the way, Cade Klubnik played not only in the ACC championship game, but also in a playoff game. So he had more games than Nussmeier, and Nussmeier threw for more yards last year than did Klubnik. So the only returning 4,000-yard passer in college football, maybe you're splitting hairs there. And I can buy an argument for the upside with Arch or DJ Lagway, John Mateer, who just left Washington State to follow Ben Arbuckle to Oklahoma. Like, I can hear the upside argument with those guys. But you're talking about a proven commodity in Garrett Nussmeier. Okay, you're set there. And after that, you got Michael Van Buren, who started 9 games for Mississippi State a year ago. And then you've got Colin Hurley as a redshirt freshman. But that's it. You go into 2026, there's no Bryce Underwood, and you didn't sign a quarterback in 2025. So presumably you go into 26 with Michael Van Buren, Colin Hurley, and a giant question mark. That's assuming both Van Buren and Colin Hurley return for 2026. And I'm not sitting here trying to tell you something I know. I'm not breaking news. I don't have insight into this. I've not talked to Michael Van Buren or Colin Hurley to know what they're thinking. I'm just looking at what the commonalities are in college football, and that's that quarterbacks don't stay. Quarterbacks don't stay. They just don't. You just saw it at LSU. Ricky Collins just left after 2 years in Baton Rouge. He's going to be the starter at Syracuse. A.J. Swan left Vanderbilt, came to LSU, now he's leaving LSU, and he's out the door as well. So look at the playoff teams from this past year, the 2 teams that played in the championship game, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Riley Leonard went from Duke to Notre Dame. Will Howard went from Kansas State to Ohio State. I mean, you can even look at the other teams in the playoff. Like Drew Aller and Cade Klubnik are with the teams that they signed with, but Quinn Ewers started his career at Ohio State, then went to Texas. I mean, you just go on and on down the list. Guys don't stay. I'm not telling you something you don't know. Guys don't stay. So a year from now, would you be stunned if Colin Hurley hits the transfer portal? Or if Michael Van Buren does 1 year as a backup at LSU and then goes somewhere else? I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's a possibility. But as you look at the numbers and the circumstance, what LSU is going to be going into in 2026, I think is going to more closely resemble what Brian Kelly inherited in 2022. When you had Miles Brennan, you had a young Garrett Nussmeier, and then you had Walker Howard coming in. You had 3 guys, but none of them had experience. And so you went and got a 3-year starter in Jaden Daniels. They knew what they had, and they needed experience. So no matter what Nuss plays this year, even if Van Buren and Hurley come back next year, and you add a freshman, you're probably still going into the portal to get an experienced quarterback for 2026. Because you don't have to go into a season with an inexperienced player. You don't have to. Go get an experienced guy. But you're still going to have to protect against the inevitable of guys leaving in the portal, which is why you've got to add a quarterback every single year. So you missed 25 inadvertently. You were supposed to add Bryce Underwood, and then maybe you could understand missing in 26. But you missed in 25. You supplemented in the portal. Now you got to get a player in 26. Or you're just going to be feeding the portal every single year. And maybe that's okay, but it's very hard to create stability that way. And there's always the chance you could miss on that guy in the portal. Certainly there's a shot you can miss on a guy that you recruit. But Nussmeier is the true telltale where if you hit in the high school ranks, you get the right guy who will come and stay and develop, it can work that way as well. And you have more stability as you build underneath that player, as opposed to continuing to go in the portal every single year trying to find the tip of the spear, the head of the snake. I mean, Notre Dame's tried to do that. They made a playoff a year ago, but they also haven't had the most consistent success trying to do that each year. So, Bo Bentley, he'll make his visits. He'll visit LSU at the end of May, the last Saturday in May, and then it'll visit Oklahoma the first Saturday in June. So it's May 30th, LSU, June 6th, Oklahoma is when he'll take his official visits. Then after that, we'll learn what it'll be for Bo Bentley. But if LSU misses on Bo Bentley here for the class of 2026, it is almost a certainty that when Garrett Nussmeier graduates after 25, that even if Michael Van Buren stays, LSU is going back into the portal to get a quarterback for 2026. And quite honestly, even if Van Buren stays and Bentley commits, they may still go into the portal to get another guy anyway, just because that's the nature of the position and the position group in 2025 and 2026. Just in this culture of college football, you can never have enough talent. You can never have enough options in the most important position in organized team sports. So we'll all see what happens with Bo Bentley. But even if they don't get him, or even if they do get him, I should say, the Tigers may still be looking in the portal for a quarterback in 2026. All right, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're glad you're hanging out with us here with an absolute ton to do. David Dellucci's coming up after SportsCenter. We'll get you caught up on national headlines. Also next hour, the Saints had their Saints Hall of Fame golf tournament today. So Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore both met with reporters. And this is the first time that Mickey Loomis has met with reporters since Derek Carr's retirement. Remember, the last time that Loomis met with reporters was before the draft, and he was asked about Derek Carr's injury. He consistently said, this is a draft press conference. I'm not answering questions about Derek Carr. Well, this is the first time now that Loomis has been in front of cameras and microphones since Carr's retirement, and so we've got a sense of what he said. I'll give you a fair warning. I'll probably try to start that segment with a very rational sensibility, and it probably won't go well. Hour 2 is next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Ditch the contacts and glasses forever. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. It's so easy, y'all. If you've been on the fence, if you've thought about LASIK, if you've thought about it, you've heard about it, maybe it's not for you, maybe it's for one of your kiddos, I would highly recommend just taking the first step in scheduling that consultation. The consultation is free. It is not a sales pitch. It's just an information gathering session. How about this, which just popped up? This was 2019, man. There's me, Dr. Blake Williamson, Devin White, and Warren Morris. All of us, patients of the Williamson Eye Center. You want to ditch your contacts and glasses forever? Trust the best, Dr. Blake Williamson.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, the 49ers making four-time All-Pro Fred Warner, the NFL's highest-paid linebacker, a 3-year, $63 million extension, $56 million guaranteed, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Eagles agreed to a multi-year extension with Super Bowl winning coach Nick Sirianni. Ahead of Game 1 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals against the Timberwolves, the Thunder's the prohibitive favorite to win the NBA championship. ESPN bet listing OKC at -175 to win the title. ESPN, NBA, and MSG Network Knicks analyst Alan Hahn.
You have to win now. They are the runaway favorites to win the championship. I mean, not even close. So when you look at that and where they are, this is now supposed to be their beginning. You know, we're going 7 years now without a repeat champion. But this Thunder team could be starting the new dynasty.
Alan Hahn out on Sportsmanlike. T-Wolves Thunder open up the West Finals tomorrow, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN. Two-time defending Indy 500 winner Joseph Newgarden, Team Penske teammate Will Power, penalized for violating rules during qualifying weekend. They'll start from the final two spots on the grid Sunday.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Soup. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Gordon McKernan in studio in 1 hour. We'll talk some NIL about 15 minutes from right now. Kellen Moore, Mickey Loomis both met with reporters today out at the Saints Hall of Fame golf tournament. A little bit what the head coach and GM had to say as they continue through this wilderness searching for a quarterback. Final weekend of SEC play in the books. LSU finishes as the number 3 seed. It's SEC tournament time. We find David Dellucci actually on his way to Hoover as we speak. Luch, great to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am driving up because it takes the same amount of time to drive as it does fly. So I'm enjoying the drive right now, heading up through Hattiesburg currently.
Oh, babe. Who gained the most in the final weekend of SEC play?
Well, I think Vanderbilt is the team that's really on my radar. It's just the way that they've exploded the last, 3 weekends of conference play. and it's the offense that's heated up. And Vanderbilt had 3 consecutive walk-off wins via home run at home. A team that's got great pitching staff. The question mark has always been, can they score runs? And they come in the SEC tournament, and it's a tournament that Vanderbilt takes pride in. Time after time, year after year, Vanderbilt is always a team that they play to win this tournament. When you hear other teams say, we just want to stay healthy and set our pitching rotation up, Vandy plays to win. So they're coming in with confidence, and they're coming in with great pitching staff, and they're hot at the plate as well.
Yeah, sweep of Kentucky this past weekend. Vandy and LSU both finished 19-11 in the conference. I would assume they've locked up a national seed. So the natural follow-up, Luch, is which team in the final weekend lost the most?
Man, I would say Alabama. It's a team that was on the bubble to host, a team that started out the season great, and really just they could not win the close games. And had they won a couple close games in the last 3 weekends, it would be a team that you're guaranteed is going to host. And now they're on the bubble. Most likely the bubble out. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament, but most likely the bubble out of hosting unless they can make a deep run.
What about Texas A&M?
Going to have to win it all. I mean, that's the bottom line. Is what a disappointing year. Showed what they were capable of at one point. Got hot right after they swept a doubleheader against Tennessee, and then the bottom dropped out, and it was against Missouri. It was bad enough to lose, but to get swept by Missouri, and they just couldn't put it back together. So I think they're going to have to win it all, and that's the only way they're going to be. But a very disappointing season for the Aggies, especially with Texas, their big rival, winning the SEC regular season. So I think that's made things worse for the fan base
with their former coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an insult to injury type thing. David Dellucci is our guest. So A&M is an obvious answer. Like, they're one of the teams that you feel like has to win the SEC tournament to get a regional berth. Who else do you think has the most on the line this week in Hoover?
To me, it's and I'm looking at the teams that are on the bubble. It's Kentucky, another team that's fallen quite a bit during the course of the season. I think of Kentucky's, I want to say of their 17 conference losses, maybe 18 conference losses, 7 of those have come by 1 run. What they've done has been terrific. It's a team that's played really well. But gosh darn, 13 wins. I just don't think this year, with the number of SEC teams that are going to go to the NCAA tournament, I think the committee is going to have SEC fatigue, and Kentucky's going to have to make some noise in the SEC tournament to get in. They're a good team. They can play well. They can do some damage if they get in, but I don't know, man. It's going to be very hard with 13 wins.
Luch, what about the national seed conversation? Because there's 6 teams that have a case. Going into Hoover, how do you think that stands right now? Just your opinion.
I think it stays. And I look at 4 of those teams, and I'm going to throw Kentucky back into this. I believe it's Auburn. I think it's Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. Those 4 teams did not play Missouri. So if the committee looks into that, and you want to add a win or 2 wins or even 3 wins, all of a sudden you've got extra teams that are hosting. You've got a Kentucky team that should be in. So it's how is the committee going to look at things? We'll grade the SEC, but by far it is the toughest conference. By far, they have the best teams. It's just whether or not, I'm telling you, it's going to, and people think this, and I believe it's true, the SEC fatigue is real, and they're going to start looking at other conferences and go, well, we're going to have, 13 teams from the SEC, or we're going to have 8 hosts. Let's go this way. Let's spread the game to this part of the country or to this conference. So I think we're going to be up against that.
What do you think? So how many do you think end up? It's impossible to say, not knowing what happens in the SEC tournament. But how many national seeds of the 8 do you think LSU or the SEC gets?
I don't have the standings in front of me.
Let's
but
go. Let's assume Texas, Arkansas are certain.
Yes,
so the four that are kind of up in the air are LSU, Vandy, Georgia, Auburn would be the other four.
Yeah, so I think LSU gets it. I think you give it to LSU. I think you look at Vandy's case as a team that did not play Missouri, and I think Auburn fell out of it because Ole Miss won the series. Auburn salvaged it with the game 3, but I just think they ended on a skid. So going back, Vandy, to me, you look at the fact they didn't play Missouri, because had they played Missouri, I mean, you're talking about a team that would have 20, 21 wins, if they, in my opinion. Now, I know the schedule is how it would have fallen and who would have swapped with Vanderbilt, but they could have had a better record than what they have. And they ended up on a high note. That was the only one of those 3 teams that ended up on a high note. But if you're asking about LSU, I think LSU is definitely a team. They're sitting at number 1 in the country right now. Probably one of the most potent offenses right now, a great pitching staff. So you got to give them the top 8 seed.
What if LSU goes to Hoover, loses on Friday, the only game they play, and you see Vandy, Auburn, Georgia? Or what if Auburn ends up being the team that beats LSU?
Yeah, well, it's how the committee looks at it. But first of all, I don't think that's going to happen, although I did think that LSU was going to handle them during the course of the season. But it's how heavily they look at the tournament, unless you win it all. But to me, LSU has got to be in a top 8 seed. I would be very surprised if they're not, no matter what.
Luch is here for a couple more minutes. Luch, if you're Jay Johnson, how would you handle the SEC tournament with Cade Anderson? Would you throw him on Friday?
Yeah, I would. I would throw him on Friday and then come back with Ianson on Saturday, and if you do that, then you're sitting pretty to win this whole thing. I mean, that's just my take on it. It's pretty much a routine that those guys are very comfortable with. It's the other teams that are going to have issues. You got double bye teams that are playing Thursdays. So to me, if you stay on that, they're sitting nice in their rotation. And once again, it comes down to an LSU game 3 is how are they going to approach that. But, Hoover is always a place that somebody on the pitching staff steps up. And I think you'll see that this year.
Luch, you think playing to win is more in Hoover, even if LSU has a national seed locked up, is more valuable than giving maybe Anderson and Ianson rest, effectively, to steal like a major league term, like skipping their turn in the rotation?
Yeah, it's a great question. Everybody says it's more important to come out of there healthy and well rested until the first pitch is thrown. I remember a couple of years when Arkansas had Kevin Kopps, and Dave Van Horn told all of us in a meeting that he wasn't going to pitch Kevin Kopps because Kevin Kopps pretty much pitched every single game of the year. And I'd be darned if the first game they didn't bring Kevin Kopps out of the bullpen for, I think, a 3-inning save. So you can sit there and say it doesn't mean as much as the NCAA tournament, but once the game starts playing and the competitive juices flow, that's when you play to win.
Luch will be on your TV all week there in Hoover on the SEC Network. Regardless of what you're playing for or not playing for, it's always a fun week there in Hoover. We appreciate it, Luch. Thanks for the time, man.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right, be well. David Dellucci. It's After Further Review. Monday show is presented by Relief Windows. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll talk plenty of SEC tournament as we move throughout the show and the week. We'll have the luxury of being very casual observers, because by the time LSU plays, they will be the last team to play their first game in the tournament. As the 3 seed, LSU will play the second game on Friday. So there'll be a 3:00 game, and then LSU against either Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Auburn will play that night game on Friday. Like, you'll have the luxury of knowing what's happened in front of you to feel like if you need, like, what if by that point Vanderbilt, Auburn, Georgia, like, what if they're all eliminated? All right. Go have a bullpen day and maybe take it on to that on Monday and see what the regional field looks like. Lots of different. I got a quick break. Come back. Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore met with reporters at the Saints Hall of Fame golf tournament. And Mick, for the first time, talks about Derek Carr's retirement. Glow. I love to tout the growth that Glow Resources has seen over the last decade because it's remarkable. I mean, they've gone from being a company with offices in Miami and Orlando and Houston and all over the place. But when you go to their corporate office, which is on Perkins, reshaped that part of Perkins Road, the sign, the way they've cleared the frontage, it's awesome. Just walk in the building and see if they'll give you a tour. It's gorgeous. Anyway, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Louisiana companies who solutions. So go to glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize offers a range of discrete services to address your and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you see dirt. You see the hallowed ground. It's past. Provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain and learn more about what it means to be powered.
These are the for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Lucky, just got luckier.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
Every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, thanks again to David Dellucci for joining us. Gordon McKernan's in studio at the top of hour number 3. Always, who's, man, running a massive company and all over the place, but we get him in and all that stuff with G when he's in studio next hour. In about 15 minutes, I do want to talk about today. LSU President William Tate resigned. So I do have some thoughts on how that impacts LSU athletics. Monday, Mickey Loomis and Kellen Hall of Fame golf tournament. And I'll remind you that we haven't speak since Derek Carr's retirement. So the last time we heard press conference, and then, of course, after each day of the draft, they spoke. But that was before. At that point, he wasn't answering questions about Derek. Heard Mickey Loomis yet speak about Derek Carr's retirement. So pretty natural. To talk to the GM a little more than a week after Derek Carr retired to Derek Carr's retirement. He had a lot to say.
How it unfolded and you all reaching an amicable agreement.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said everything that we need to say on that.
There's one sheet, two sheets. Notes here that for the show today, music. Is there anything I'm missing?
See it? No, I don't see any more sheets.
Nothing else?
No.
That's this right here.
Okay,
yep, got
perfect.
it. Rundown. Where Mickey Loomis said everything that he needed to say on the Derek Carr retirement. I don't have that. Do you have that?
I don't.
Let's hop in the DeLorean, crank that thing up to 88 and go back to April the 25th. But this is when Mickey Loomis was asked about Derek Carr's injury.
I'm just not going to answer any more questions about Derek. I mean, this is a pre-draft. If you have questions about the draft, then I'm more than happy to answer those. But in terms of the roster and Derek, I'm not going to answer any more questions about that today.
Look, then they pressed him. They followed up.
Again, I'm not going to answer any questions about Derek at this time.
Oh, okay. About Derek. And you remember what I said? That's why I love the digital era, Muse. No hiding. And I can bite you in the ass sometimes, but that's why you got to be careful. Were you here? Do you remember what? Stance is going to be, well, it's a pre-draft press conference. Then you're never going to say anything. It's an OTA press conference. It's a Saints Hall of Fame. I'm only here to talk about. Oh, but remember in that same press conference pre-draft, for Chris Olave and Trevor Penning, it's not that it's a pre-draft press conference. It's that Gumsmack and Mick didn't want to answer the question. This is the thing that's to light a fire on the. Because every time he speaks, it is a proverbial slap in you. Public figure with the media and is continuously refusing to answer very legit, relevant situation. Your starting quarterback, who you paid $150 million, suddenly pops up with a shoulder injury, things escalate, and he retires. Videos in the NFL Network doing his bidding for him, talking about how and we haven't heard the Saints. Kellen Moore say last Saturday at rookie minicamp. What did Kellen Moore say? He didn't meet Derek Carr. Who did he say handled all the conversation with Derek Carr? You don't worry about him. You just don't look for it. Just tell me. Who did Kellen Moore say last Saturday handled all the conversations with Derek Carr and his reps?
Mickey Loomis.
All those conversations, all of them, head coach, remember, said he hadn't even met Derek Carr. They handled all the opportunity for the media. General manager say, play it again. What does the general manager say when asked that very legitimate question?
We need to say on that.
Really? You have not said a... Well, we got to go bug your house? Do I need to send Paul to wiretap your phone? What do I got to do? What are those the droids? What are those things that fly around everybody talking about? Drones. What are drones? Or is it China or Russia? I don't watch the news. I just know y'all worried about drones. Send one of those to Mickey Loomis's house so we can maybe get some comment on franchise retiring. 24 years old. This guy. It's just the air of entitlement and superiority for someone who has no right. Every passing day that this organization plunges closer and closer and closer to the earth, that the successes they had virtually nothing to do. And that's it. Because as soon as those two guys were out the door, this thing went to hell in a handbasket. Question about Derek Carr's retirement. Now, he was also asked about a veteran quarterback. Very plausible question. 0 NFL wins. There's been a lot of talk. Teddy bringing in a veteran quarterback, really legitimate question. Here's what Mick had to say.
Just to say, look, we're always at every position looking to see if there's a way we can improve. And so I don't look at that any differently than I would look at our linebacker room or our DB room or any
Shut up!
position. If there's an opportunity
Shut
for us...
up! You're not giving away some bold strategy. You want to sign a veteran quarterback or not, Jack? It's a yes or a no. Your competitive advantage, your ace in the hole is that you might go sign Carson Wentz. Oh, the NFL. Kellen Moore was asked that question. At least he attempted a logical reply.
The roster is a very moving, dynamic thing throughout the whole offseason process. And so right now, we feel great. We feel like we've got some young guys. We're excited to just get them on the field and participate. And again, it'll mostly be 7-on-7. That'll be the only thing that, is full speed. That's just the way this thing's structured now in off-season programs. And so we'll give those guys a bunch of opportunities. They'll be exciting to see them get out there, learn, grow, make good plays, miss a few. And, that's all about this whole process is about.
The non-denial denial. At least Kellen Moore faked his way through a 31-second answer. At least he faked his way through a 31-second answer respectfully. I mean, at least offer to buy me breakfast. You know what I mean? Mickey Loomis is just like, get out. Okay. I always get these comments because we take my rants and like every Mickey Loomis or Derek Carr or somebody now. And so if you ever go read the comments on it, they're like, man, don't you have anything good to say? You're so negative all the time. Like, what is there good to say? Like, because I guarantee you that's going up. Viral. Good. It should. I mean, the complete incompetence of the general manager and the unwillingness of the owner to do anything about it. So I'll keep calling him Ellen Moore cut a million times.
Ellen Moore.
The owner of the team at the introductory press conference called the coach by the wrong name. Tell me this place is... There's a competent bunch in there that's going to fix this. Grandma Gail seems sweet. I bet she makes a hell of a cobbler. Of an organization, considering where the direction old Grandma Gail's got us going right now. It's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online. The $500 graduation bonus if you're a graduate buying a car, automatically $500 bonus for you on your purchase of your new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. Shop them online. Amazing options if you want to check them out. And I always tell Volkswagens, remember the certified pre-owns. Whenever, not just Volkswagens, 2019 GMC Yukon Denali, black with light gray interior, fully loaded, one owner, second power sunroof, excellent. Volkswagen, go get it. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Relief Windows. In 30 minutes from right now. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Goff. You can search YouTube or your favorite AFR Saints, or if you want the full show, After Further Review. When we come back, William Tate resigned. He's headed to take the same position at Rutgers. I got some thoughts on how that impacts LSU athletics when we continue here at AFR. If you want to feel your best around the corner, you need Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Matt, I thought it was all about Goodwood and ED. It's not all that. Yes, at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they have ED treatments. Got ED issues? They can help. But it's so much more. Hormone replacement therapy. Suffering from low T or think you might be, or don't even know if you are. How bad you feel until you start feeling good again. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate. And opening soon, Goodwood is also owned by the same group that owns Unique Physique, and they're opening Unique Aesthetic Clinic. So Botox, wrinkle relaxing, therapies, all of those services are available at deep discounts before they open. You go to my personal URL, which is
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Bayou.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land, where others you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
You gotta believe. You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. The perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, you back in the game. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. 2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Monday morning, LSU position, and he will become the new president at Rutgers University up in New Jersey. Around on this. So sometimes these things pop up, and it is pretty jarring for people who maybe aren't familiar. But as you kind of read with the new some of the other circumstantial things that have happened, it kind of is all pointing to this as an inevitability. Let me go back and we'll come forward. I'll tell you how it impacts. Hired back in 2021. Remember, F. King Alexander was the system president. He was fired. Where he was fired there at Oregon State because of the Title IX and sexual misconduct allegations at LSU. But there was an interim president for a short time. William Tate as the new president of LSU. He had been hired here. At the time, he became the first black president of LSU, and at the time, the first black president of an SEC school. And as you've had, this is not a red or a blue, an R or a D. You do you. Follow the news, dude. I don't care. I'm just kind of laying. The governor appoints the president. Prove it. Well, remember also the governor appoints board members. So by and large, the board, political appointees effectively. And what's happened since Governor Landry was elected, as does with every governor, they're going to, So what's happened now is you have a group of board members that have more of a loyalty to Governor Landry, loyal to John Bel. I don't care. That's the political process. You make your own decisions about that. Again, I'm just telling you the story. In late January, Chief Counsel Winston DeQueer was fired. He resigned. A lot of that it was chipping away at President loyalists. There was the Omar the Tiger thing. As stupid as that may sound, that made it a priority, pushed for it. President Tate was opposed. A lot of members of that. Again, whatever. I've always felt like Mike the Tiger should get his ass in the cage. I mean, you live. I think I'm a Neanderthal. Don't care. That's just how I feel. Did it for decades and decades and decades. Seemed to be just fine. Mike the Tiger's lived a long time, happy, good lives, or whatever. Okay. So we come to this point now where the governor will handpick a new president for the university. And the thing from an athletics perspective that is so important, I think, is the word that Scott Woodward used when he was hired and Brian Kelly used when he was hired, and that's alignment. If you think back into the early 2000s, remember Scott Woodward's role at LSU back then 20 years ago was on for Mark Emmert, who was the chancellor between. He was that liaison. And then you had a great relationship with Emmert and athletics, where Skip Ertman was the athletic director. And, of course, it was Chancellor Emmert who pushed to hire Nick Saban. Now, Joe Dean was the athletic director, who then, of course, retired, and Skip Ertman became the AD. But you had this great alignment for resources and everything that you needed to make athletics blossom. It was an amazing period of LSU athletics where football won a national championship. That's what started the run to the women's basketball Final Fours, the 5 straight Final Fours. The men's basketball team went to a Final Four in 2006. The baseball team went to Omaha a couple times under smoke, and then we know Wayne and Skip ultimately hired Paul Maneri, who restored LSU baseball to prominence, won a national championship in his 3rd season. So all that was kind of happening in that era. And that's what they're trying to sort of restore. It's always been sort of Scott's objective. But, I look at this in particular at a time at LSU where there is an undeniable truth that athletics is the front door to the university. Whether you love athletics or not, whether you're a fan, I'm guessing by the fact that you're listening to a sports talk radio show, you probably do. But there's a lot of people who are going to talk about this with you that don't care about athletics, and that's fine. But it's a similar conversation that I always have with people when it comes to state subsidies for professional franchises. And a lot of people disagree with that, but my point is always, if you thought of this in terms of a business and not a sports team, you'd feel differently. Just like there's that Hyundai plant you're building a $1 billion facility in Ascension Parish. That's a great thing for the state of Louisiana. So too is it having the Saints and the Pelicans in Louisiana, because those are $1 billion organizations in your state. So yes, you should subsidize them the same way, or offer them tax breaks the same way you would Hyundai or Toyota or Amazon building, the fulfillment center in the old Cortana Mall location in Baton Rouge, like all of those things. So that's kind of how I've always looked at this. LSU athletics is the doorstep to the university. I mean, just look at what happened at the University of Alabama, for example, during Nick Saban's tenure. Student enrollment in the fall of 2006 was 23,000. When Nick Saban left, enrollment neared 40,000. Just walk on the campus and look at the buildings. I mean, I've had this conversation so many times over the years, even at LSU, with members of the admissions department and the LSU Alumni Association. Whenever LSU wins a championship in football, applications to the university, boom, you see a big spike. You see donations to the university and the athletic department, spike. There's a lot of pride. There's a tremendous amount of pride when you win. And it puts you on the map. So naturally, you want to be great in sports. So you need a university administration that understands and respects that and is going to try to work hand in hand with athletics. But what's happening more and more right now, in my view, is you're just seeing this erosion of of the brand as some are asleep at the wheel. I'm not specifically saying LSU. Hear me out here. Like, don't hear that and think the wrong thing. Look at Live Golf, for example. Live Golf isn't like crushing it, but the PGA had become so complacent. They were blind to a potential competitor. And Live came in, dumped a bunch of cash, and were able to pull a lot of their golfers away and create a disruption in that industry. Look, the G League is an example of that. And of course the NCAA is ripe for disruption. And I think that's where we're headed. And ultimately, that just continues to create the greater gap between LSU and LSU athletics. There's just not a lot of symbiosis there right now. And as we move into a rev share era, I think that chasm just continues to grow, because in order for athletics to survive, they're going to have to continue to find new revenue streams or cut sports, which further distances from the mission of being an academic institution, right? But what matters most? It's winning in football and basketball and things that are going to generate revenue, because it's this weird cycle where you can't exist without the revenue. Well, how do you create the revenue? Football and basketball. Well, what's pulling away from the revenue? The non-revenue sports. So what do? You cut them. What does that do? It severs your commitment and your initial mission of being an academic institution and student athletes. All that stuff just continues to drift like farther and farther apart, if that makes sense. So I've heard some names already that are in line to replace President Tate, potentially. And I don't know that we need to sit here and run through those, because I don't know that it necessarily matters a ton right now. And it's just, no doubt Governor Landry has some in mind that he's already interested in. The interim president, by the way, this is up. We got this up at LouisianaSports.net as well. The interim president is Matt Lee, who's the vice president for agriculture and dean of the LSU College of Agriculture. So he's the interim president right now. Eric Monday is a name that I've heard, who had previously been. Paul Coryell from LSU A is a name. Like Letlow, who's currently at U.S. Congress. Governor Landry goes. I don't know. I'm telling you candidly. I don't know. I'm throwing out names that I've heard, not saying there's anything definitive, just to say those are things that are floating out there. And so we'll see how it all transpires. What I want, though, is that understands the importance of athletics to the whole, to the brand as the doorstep of the university, how you can leverage athletics for the benefit of the academic side. And that's something that has been lacking, that lack of alignment there. And maybe with this hire, it will start to get more in place there. But make no mistake, this wasn't William Tate resigning because he didn't like LSU or got a better job. This was the current governor wanting to get his own university president in place, which is totally his right. And so you continue to take away the protective shield, the walls close to this president, and you get to the point where you say, listen, go find a job. So we don't have to fire you. Go find a job. You can resign so it can look however it needs to look publicly. But make no mistake, this is William Tate being forced out, and Jeff Landry, ultimately, who's going to get his person in, whomever that may be. And from my chair, what I hope sincerely is that someone who cares a lot about LSU, the university, as an alum, which I am, but also someone who understands the importance of alignment. And hopefully they get there. When it happens, we'll talk about it. Okay, it's after further review. I got a quick break. We usually do Tigers and the Pros next.
After further review.
Brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet. 13,000 square feet of meeting space. Their grand ballroom can host 500 people. So maybe you're starting to work on a fundraiser. Remember the Renaissance. Maybe you have an awards banquet coming up. Remember the Renaissance. Maybe it's a wedding reception. We're getting into spring, summer. Maybe you're planning something for the fall or next spring. Call the Renaissance. My friend Allison Crump, who's the events coordinator over there at the Renaissance, at Renaissance Baton Rouge, she always says, we're in the business of saying yes. So whatever event you're looking to host, they've got the space and they can manipulate it however they need to make your event a smashing success. Of course, with tons of beautiful guest rooms and all the amenities. It's a great place to stay if you have family coming in from out of town. You need a place to stay, and it's centrally located right there on Bluebonnet near I-10 across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. Tallulah, great dining option. Just remember, Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Monday's AFR, always presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters as well, reliefwindows.com. Musso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Man, what an outing by Paul Skeens on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, sheesh. 8 innings. 1 earned run. He walked 1, punched out 9. How about 21 first pitch strikes from Skeens? 71 strikes out of 102 pitches. I mean, he was awesome. And with a line like that, you would think, man, the Pittsburgh Pirates got themselves one.
No.
And instead, no, they didn't. They lost 1-0.
Yeah.
And Paul Skeens gets saddled with his fifth loss of the season. Get him out of Pittsburgh, please.
Did you see this? This is Andrew Filipponi on Twitter. Unbelievable stat. This is the 6th time the Pirates have lost when Paul Skeens allowed 1 run or fewer. He notes that shouldn't happen in an entire career. It's happened 6 times in 33 starts. Total disgrace, Pittsburgh.
Nailed it. Total disgrace, dude. Come on.
6 times.
6 times in 33. Not
1 or 0 runs in 33 starts. It's happened 6 times his loss.
That actually makes me very angry. Okay, Dylan Cruz had a phenomenal day on Sunday for the Nats. 2 out of 4. Home run number 6 on the season for Cruz. That was a 2-run shot. The other hit was a single. In all, he drives in 3 and scores once. Cole Henry closed out that ball game for the Nationals with a perfect final inning of relief. Sub-3 ERA there now for our guy, Cole Henry. And Hayden Travinski signed a free agent contract with the Houston Astros over the weekend. How about that? Really awesome to see. Of course, goes undrafted after a great career at LSU, but now trying to make his way through the Astros organization. He's been assigned to the rookie-level affiliate in the Florida Complex League. And last but not least, Jamal Adams. Finish it the right way. We'll see if anything comes of that. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ. Need your wedding bands or wedding gifts? I got my wedding band, by the way, at Lee Michaels. Almost 13 years ago now. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Maybe you have an anniversary or birthday coming up. Lee Michaels has everything you need, no matter your budget. LMFJ.com. 9 locations in all. 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at LMFJ.com. for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Gordon McKernan in studio. Always look forward to our convos with G. That's coming up next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. No matter what you got going on in your life, you're near a Rouse's because there's 70-some-odd Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. So get to Rouse's.com or download the Rouse's app. There's always something you could do. I love this, too. This is so good. They're going to meet and eat with Stale Cracker coming up at the Rouse's in Youngsville coming up on this Friday. So if you're in Youngsville, make a note of it. They always do great events like this at Rouse's. They have great partnerships at Rouse's, and we're thrilled to be a partner of theirs as well. At Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Get by Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. You can always check the weekly ad at Rouse's.com to know what specials they have coming up. And you can always eat great at Rouse's. You want to go by the hot bar, the hot and boiled kiosk, grab and go, pre-made sushi, and something for everyone for the entire family over at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, four-time All-Pro Fred Warner is now the NFL's highest-paid linebacker. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports he's agreed on a 3-year, $63 million extension, $56 million guaranteed. He's the third key player this offseason to get an extension from the Niners, along with quarterback Brock Purdy and tight end George Kittle. A little more than 3 months after helping lead the Eagles to their second Super Bowl title, head coach Nick Sirianni's agreed to a multi-year extension. NFL owners will meet tomorrow and Wednesday to vote on a handful of proposals. One would ban the tush push, a play that was run on 0.28% of all plays in the NFL last season. And eliminating it wouldn't be a bad thing, according to ESPN NFL analyst Dominique Foxworth.
It encourages a style of play that we want to get away from, and a style of play that's not fun. So the Eagles have had a great time with it, I think. And no disrespect to them, they've created something that's really awesome for them, but no one wants to watch it. Run the ball, do a play action, do something more fun on 4th and short.
Dodgers outfielder Teoscar Hernandez set to return from a groin strain tonight against the Diamondbacks.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Gordon McKernan is supposed to be joining us in studio, running a smidge late. No worries. We'll pivot. We'll get G in studio just as soon as he pops in here. Over the weekend, Jeff Duncan had a report over at NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. He tweeted about it as well, and it's about Aaron Rodgers. He noted, no surprise here, but Aaron Rodgers never really was a consideration for the Saints in wake of the Derek Carr retirement. At their current stages, they don't make sense for him, and he doesn't make sense for them. Again, a report from Jeff Duncan. I can't say that that's terribly surprising, but I'm probably going to zig on this when most are going to zag, and I promise you I'm not doing this just for the sake of being a contrarian. I would actually really like the idea of Aaron Rodgers to the New Orleans Saints for a couple of reasons. And I'll tell you primarily that reason is because of something Aaron Rodgers was pretty vocal about whenever Green Bay drafted Jordan Love. He recalled when Green Bay drafted him and how Brett Favre maybe wasn't the best veteran leader to Aaron Rodgers. And as a result, he didn't want to treat Jordan Love that way. He wanted to welcome him into the NFL, mentor him, and help him. And I look at the Saints' current quarterback situation, and you got 3 guys on the roster that have a combined 0 NFL wins. Aaron Rodgers has won more MVPs than they collectively have wins. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a future Hall of Famer. I understand fully all of the everything that goes along with Aaron Rodgers. Going on McAfee's show, the silent retreats, all the stuff, the cleansing, all of it, right? Different kind of cat, went to Berkeley. I get it. Not here to judge. Cam Jordan went to Berkeley. He's been fine. So I understand all of the I understand all of the detractors, but I would also look and say, can we objectively look at what we think, what we feel, and how he might actually be perceived in a locker room? Not by a front office or anything like that. But I look at Aaron Rodgers and I say, here's a guy that, yes, is 41 years old, and I do not think is going to win a Super Bowl. So just to be very clear, I'm not suggesting that for New Orleans, bringing in Aaron Rodgers would make you a contender. I'm not saying that because I don't think that's the case. And to be very clear, I think if Aaron Rodgers wants to go still play to win, which I presume is the only way he would play, he would go to some place like Pittsburgh, where you had a ready-made playoff roster, which New Orleans does not have. It's not my opinion. That's the shared opinion of everybody. You can look at Vegas, who has the Saints pegged over under 4.5 wins. You bring in Aaron Rodgers. Let's say he's good for 3 wins. Okay, so now you're at 7.5. Say he's good for 4 wins. You're at 8.5. You're still not a playoff team. So Aaron Rodgers would not make you a playoff team. He played 17 games last year for the Jets. They won 5 games. That's not why you would bring in someone like this to make you a contender. It is strictly to provide a bridge, so you don't put so much on a young quarterback room so early, and also to give them the opportunity to learn from an MVP, a Hall of Famer. It's kind of the same reason why you brought in Jameis Winston to sit behind Drew Brees for a year. Come, sit, watch, learn, be better for it. And maybe that could be the solution. Now, clearly, the Saints aren't interested. By the way, the financial component works as well. Aaron Rodgers has said he would be willing to play this year for $10 million, considering what you owe Derek Carr, not only this year, but the $31 million that'll be on the cap for next year in dead money. Having a starting quarterback with Aaron Rodgers' ilk for $10 million makes a lot of sense. Again, I want to be so clear. I'm not arguing go get Aaron Rodgers because it's going to help you win. I'm saying I wouldn't be opposed to Aaron Rodgers because it stabilizes you and provides a bridge while you rebuild the roster, and you don't have you don't potentially ruin your young quarterbacks by dumping so much on them so early. You let them do what Rodgers had the ability to do, which was sit behind Brett Favre. What Jordan Love had the ability to do, which is sit behind Aaron Rodgers. What Patrick Mahomes had the ability to do was to sit for a year behind Alex Smith and then take over. And by the way, in his second year as a starter, they won a Super Bowl. I don't know what the future is going to hold with Tyler Shuck. What I do believe, though, is if you have the luxury of not putting so much on a rookie quarterback from jump, that's a good thing. It's why I've advocated for the Saints bringing in a veteran quarterback. And maybe it's Teddy Bridgewater, or maybe it's Carson Wentz, or maybe you wait and see, or maybe you trade for Jameis Winston because they've got Jameis, Russ, and they drafted Jackson Dart. All 3 of those guys aren't going to be on the roster week 1. Maybe it's Cleveland, where they got Flacco and Deshaun Watson and Kenny Pickett, and they drafted Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur. All 5 of those guys aren't making the team. Maybe the better option will be somewhere down the line, a veteran quarterback like one of the ones I just mentioned becomes a free agent and you can add them. And maybe that's a better solution for you. Maybe it is. Maybe it's Teddy Bridgewater. But I wouldn't slam the door on Aaron Rodgers just because he does darkness retreats and goes on McAfee and you don't like him. I think there's a lot of things to like about the possibility of adding Aaron Rodgers. But according to Jeff Duncan's report, it doesn't seem like that's a possibility. It never was a possibility. Although I think it's something they probably should have considered. And if you can make it work, should do. But if Aaron Rodgers is looking to win, if he's going to keep playing because he wants to win, New Orleans definitely is the best seat for him. Because New Orleans isn't winning much of anything in 2025. It's just about hitting that reset button organizationally to get toward 26 and beyond. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Maybe you need 100 acres, that 200-acre hunting property in Mississippi. Maybe you want 100 acres on the North Shore. You live in New Orleans, you work in New Orleans, you want to give your family that more rural lifestyle, but still enjoy the city you can commute in. First South Farm Credit makes that happen every single day. So go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Your first call when it comes to land should be First South Farm Credit, because First South Farm Credit has been helping Louisianians buy land since 1916. First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, Gordon McKernan joins us in studio. Always appreciate our visit with G. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Got a text earlier from Terry. I want to read it to you, as a matter of fact, because it was pretty good. He goes, FYI, Scott at Clegg's on the Garden Center in Greenwell Springs is the world's best. I'm reading this directly. Oh, and that place out there is a gardener's wonderland. I'll go there for plants and stuff from now on. Bought 3 huge trees to keep my nosy neighbor from seeing my backyard from her second story. We'll get the full story when he's here on Friday. But, yeah, if you've never been to the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs, like, you walk in, it takes you 5 minutes to walk to the back of it. It's incredible, the scope. But Segan Air Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and as Terrio just experienced, the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. There's 4 Clegg's Nursery locations, and if you're looking to add to your outdoor oasis, our friends over at Clegg's Nursery can make it happen. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Gordon McKernan in studio with us. How are you, sir? Good to see you, man.
I'm doing great, thanks.
And I know you stay busy. When we get a few minutes with you in studio, it's always good. Life's good?
Life is great. I'm blessed.
That's awesome.
Really am.
Love to hear it. I'm glad we get a few minutes with you, man. New grandfather as well. I saw the pictures.
John Brooks,
Congratulations.
My grandson. I was having him do some workouts yesterday. I was like, I had two things. I was doing stretches, and he has this little phone with an app, and his eyes can watch. I said, all right, here's a draw, and I would like he's right-handed, come this way. I said, this is a slice. We don't want that.
Or you're teaching him to play golf.
You're
training the mind already.
Yeah, you got to.
Got to get early on it, I guess.
You don't know if he's fast, he can jump, strong, but you can hit a golf ball. You don't have to be the most athletically talented, but it helps to be that, right?
How is being a grandfather different? This is your first grandchild, right?
It's my first grandchild.
How is that different from being a father?
Oh, it's they're both wonderful, but it is really true when people tell you it's great. They come over and then they leave, and that is good. The older you get, the more rigid you get in your routines, and you want your little house the way you want it. And I feel myself that way now. So they were over last night. It's time for y'all to go. It's good.
Hit 'em,
and it's so that's good in that respect.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy for you and your family. That's fantastic news. We usually when we get you in here, we talk a lot of NIL and the way things are going. We're about a month away, presumably, I would think, from revenue share that's provided the whole how settlement goes through.
Yep.
Have you? I'm sure you have. How much thought have you given how this may evolve for you with everything you've done in the NIL space?
Yeah, and that's a good question, and I think it's going to be somewhat different, but not completely different. Obviously, those schools that decide to spend up to the 21 million, 20.6 million, whatever it is, are going to be an advantage. Not every school is going to be able to do that, right? And I don't think if the listeners don't understand, it's a matter of the athletic department taking $20 million out of their budget, right? And they have to get it from somewhere, right? Their ticket sales or licensing fees or wherever, and they can appropriate that amongst all the various sports in whatever manner they want. They give it all in football, they give it to basketball, they give it to one player. So there's a lot of freedom for the university to do that. Most of them are doing it based upon kind of the structured terms where football is going to get about 75%, and you have to go on down the line. Well, what that's doing is those sports that maybe are not as big a revenue generating or don't generate at all, women's basketball, men's baseball, sports like that, they still need their money. And these other schools with deep pockets are reaching into their pockets above the rev share. So are we going to be left behind, or how do we bridge that gap for those other sports? I think football is going to be well taken care of with that amount of money. Right?
You think so? So
I think to a large degree. I mean, now we're going to supplement, I'm sure, whether Bayou Traditions is still around or not and how it happens. I think there's still going to be supplementation by business owners. I mean, that's what the whole clearinghouse is going to be about. So if we sign a player, it's got to be fair market value. It's got to be approved by whichever accounting firm it's going to be. So there's still going to be some of that. But I think I think a lot of our issues in football will be solved by the rev share.
It's interesting that you talked about supplementing, which I'll get to in a second. But I am interested if the number, that's the number we all hear, right? It's about 75% for football. So 75% of 21 million, 15, 16 million dollars in that range. You think that's enough for football?
I think it's enough year in, year out, and you're going to get those one-offs like Bryce Underwood. I mean, some billionaire wants to do that and throw the thing out of whack. What do you do, right? You just got to take your wounds, move on. I do think it's going to be a lot, but I do think there's going to still be some supplement by donors and businessmen to come in and help out.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Because if you're in the rev share, right? Because let's face it, the way that NIL is structured now, it's pay for play under the guise of NIL. Now, you have you have done it in as legitimate a way as I've seen anybody do it.
Right.
Your athletes are on billboards, they're on TV commercials, they're on radio, they're on everything. You have, to the best you could, utilize those individual brands for your benefit.
Right.
But if all of that has to go through a clearinghouse, like, how do you supplement to that degree?
It's my understanding the rev share may not be through the clearinghouse per player. That's just part of the whole overall settlement, right? But for me, for example, if I decide to sign a receiver next year and I'm gonna sign him for $100,000 for the season, right? I've got to figure out what deliverables that person is going to do, right? How many times a month he's going to post? Is he going to show up at different events? What does that look like based upon his following, right? How many social media followers they have on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and you should be able to demonstrate, with the data out there that this is a fair market value contract, right? You just should. It's not hard. We've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah. Do you think that? Do you think some of those valuations will come down for student athletes?
Yeah, I think they will. They have to.
Right?
Now that doesn't mean they're not going to keep asking for outrageous dollars. I mean, outrageous. It is filtered through all the sports, right, and into the women's sports and everywhere where a transfer through the portal wants $500,000 for the year, right? And you're like,
all right. So you said outrageous. You don't have to use a name, but can you give me an example? I mean, you said $500,000. Like, can you just give me an example of something that happened that you would characterize as outrageous?
Well, so a player at LSU women's basketball player who transferred, didn't average much, right? But was promised several $100,000 for the one season to transfer out. Recent player that we were,
I'm sorry, by the school that she left
yes.
to? Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And this isn't Flage, it's an MK. I mean, this is a lower. So when you start thinking about that, what happens? That player gets $300,000 for a season. What is Flage and MK worth? And then you extrapolate that to baseball or men's basketball, which is even more, or to football, and start seeing where this could go. It can get outrageous.
Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. All the socials at GetGordon, of course, getgordon.com. Do you feel like I think I ask you some variation of this question every time you're here. Do you feel like you've gotten a return on your investment?
Yeah, I have. I mean, in lots of ways. Obviously, I think that the Tiger faithful understand that there were probably better ways for me to spend my money from a marketing standpoint, right? I mean, just a pure business analytic.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I could have gotten more leads, more cases, so to speak, more clients from buying, 1,000 more billboards, right, than spending millions of dollars on athletes, right? But it's not all about money. It's not all about that. It's also about giving back, supporting the university, giving these players an opportunity. So I was happy to try to do that, and I think that resonated with some people, and they understood that, like, he's trying to do something good for the community, for his school or schools, and I think they like that.
Yeah, it's been so it's helped maybe with the public perception,
correct,
image.
Yeah,
but I think that there's always a you're obviously a really smart marketer. I mean, it goes without saying, but there's a residual effect of advertising that's immeasurable.
Yeah.
And I look at what you just said and go, I think that isn't immeasurable.
Right.
Return.
Right.
Because my goodness, how many people that you'll never know that the lead
that's right
specifically came from a TV spot, a billboard, whatever it is that came because of this and the perception of you.
Yeah, and there has been attribution for direct business. And oh yeah, you support LSU. That's I came to you for that reason. So there are direct responses, and you do feel it out there that people in general appreciate it. We've had stories of the other side saying, like, we really want to help you guys and pay you because we know that some of this money might end up back at LSU.
Wait, you mean like people, like clients?
Like, the other side, the adjuster, or the other side it's an LSU adjuster. Good, like, I'm really going to try to get you that money you want because I know that some of that may end up back in, benefiting LSU.
How often does that happen?
Had happened a lot, but it's happened more than you would think.
Before the
no, no, it never happened before this. But you can imagine, they're handling thousands of claims, and here's a guy that they know is investing in LSU. Wow, I don't mind paying this guy. He's a good guy. He's going to help LSU.
It's a remarkable world though, how it's all transpired.
Yeah.
Have you tallied up? I mean, I know you have budgets and everything, but like, how much you've spent on NIL in this will be 4 years, right? So July 1 will be 4 years.
I guess it went with Kayshawn. I'm trying to think. There was Alexis Morris, but Kayshawn was really the first big one. That was December of
21. So July of 21 is when NIL went live.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, G, but like LSU, a lot of people didn't like me saying it at the time. LSU was late to the game.
Yeah.
I think everyone realizes it now.
Right.
But you were the first who was like, I ain't waiting anymore. Like, let's go.
That's right.
And you signed Kayshawn.
That's right.
When there was a team to the east of here that was snooping around.
Snooping around.
Yeah.
They were.
So Kayshawn was first.
Kayshawn was first, and it just started from there. But it's in the millions and millions. It's not 1, 2, 3 million. I'd have to look at it. It's probably 5 million, give or take, in there.
Do you think, or do you know, like, are you LSU's biggest NIL benefactor?
No, I wouldn't say that. They've got a couple of well-to-do businessmen. Their names are prevalent out there.
Sure.
You can find them on Forbes.
Sure.
And those guys are very strong, great businessmen, great supporters, and they support the program strongly.
Yeah. Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. Of course, been a great partner of ours here as well, and always generous with his time. Make sure you follow Gordon on all the socials at @GetGordon. Another thing that y'all doing, we've been promoting a lot lately, is the podcast studio, the garage, as you call it. It looks awesome, by the way.
Right.
But how did that come about? Is that literally just a garage at your office?
Yeah, it was a garage at our office over there on Constitution, right by Chris's Steakhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where our call center is. And it had a garage that we were just housing different inflatables. You've seen a few of our inflatables around town, right? And other storage stuff.
A few of them might have maybe disappeared here and there.
They have. And then I bought a LSU Jeep. I don't know if you've ever seen the Jeep driving around town, but it was Vic Fisher is a friend of mine, and he was selling it, so I bought that and I was keeping it in there. And then I had the idea, why not create a podcast studio for the greater Baton Rouge area? And it's not for us. I mean, we're using it, but it's for any influencer or any person who has a voice and wants to share whatever they want to talk about with Baton Rouge, with a greater audience, with America, as long as it's not profane or pornographic or anything like that. And you can book a time with us. It's all free. We'll produce it. We'll edit it. We'll do everything for you, and we'll give it to you. And simply, we just ask that you recognize the partnership.
There's plenty of people who have studio space that they rent out. Yeah. I'm just curious, what's the benefit to you to give away your studio space for free?
Giving back, opening it up, letting people have a voice, and
why? I mean, we do talk about, and this is part of obviously of the ads that we do for you is we do talk about a lot of the ways that your firm gives back, the laptop giveaway, the bike giveaway. I've told you before, I MC like the Down Syndrome Awareness Group, Buddy Walk every year. There's always a Gordon tent there. My son plays the Miracle League.
Right.
You sponsor, you do. It's very central. I mean, it is a thing you do, and I think in you coming in here, our audience has probably been exposed to a lot of the genuineness associated there. But why is that something that's so important to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably goes back to a faith value. It's just something inherent in what I believe as a Christian, and helping those less fortunate. I mean, it's just been drilled into me, both by my father and being at church and listening to that message over and over again and understanding the gospel and wanting to give back. It's just part of my DNA now.
It's pretty awesome, man. Yeah. That there really is. I didn't know that the studio was open, because we're saying that now. Gee, you're gonna get flooded now.
That's fine. That's the whole point of it. Yeah. That's
okay. Well, who do people contact if they want to use it?
I hired a guy named Brandon Gallego, who was out at LSU.
Sure.
And has a lot of contacts out there. You can call my law firm, and we'll put you in touch with. That's how you would call to get there now, because it's a separate entity, the Garage Studios, and we're building out that way. But Brandon Gallego, that's a great question. The email. I don't know if we have Brandon@thegarage.com set up yet. I do need to find that out. That's a great question.
If not, it'll be done by the time.
Yeah, so it's coming. I won't be flat-footed like that again. But
well, my apologies. I should have prepped you, but we just went down the road.
Yeah.
Let me. You got time?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll continue with Gordon. Gordon McKernan in studio with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders and DuplessisBuilders.net, y'all. It's that time of year. It's 90 degrees in Baton Rouge right now. Is there anything better than knocking off of work, heading home, swan diving into your pool? Our friends at Duplessis Builders can make that happen. And one of the reasons I love telling you about Duplessis every single day, it is their quality and their commitment to quality craftsmanship. Derek Duplessis is a Louisiana guy. He's from Ascension Parish, went to LSU, has 2 degrees, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering. Guy's like a space engineer. That's crazy. And that's the guy building your pool. And he does not cut corners. It's never going to be a thing where they come in and they lie and they tell you it'll be done in 2 weeks. It's not. They're up front. It'll take you 2 months to build it out correctly. But that's how they build a product that lasts. It's how they're able to give you a pool where they can offer a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. DuplessisBuilders.net.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Gordon McKernan is in studio with us on a really impactful day around LSU. President Tate resigned earlier today. He'll take the job at Rodgers. Just maybe a thought on the significance of a change at the leadership, the university leadership?
Yeah, I liked President Tate. I thought him to be an honorable man. I thought him to be a man of value and character. And I'm not exactly sure all the reasons why. But I do think it's important that there's alignment, as we were speaking about, between the very top of the state, from the governor down to the board of supervisors, down to the president, down to the athletic director, and that has to be there, right? So hopefully whoever they hire next will all have a common vision and a common alignment to make LSU great again, both in the classroom and also on the field or in the court.
You want the job? You want the job?
That is too much of a microscope, man. I'm like, I'm under a microscope enough sometimes. I don't need more of that.
Man, I honestly don't know. Listen, I understand there's people who make their careers in academia and higher education, and God bless them. I wouldn't want.
No,
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be in politics, academia, any of that stuff. Then again, I sit here for 3 hours a day and run my mouth. I mean, I'm pretty out there as it is. People can find me and see me, but still, that even feels like why that's a lot. Yeah. Something I'm glad you reminded me of this. Something you are in is court to table. So you did tell us last time you were here about your getting into pickleball.
Yeah.
Right, first, let's start here. We'll get to court to table.
Right.
Where did the interest in pickleball start?
Well, I mean, it's a great little sport, right? I mean, you can go out there and be social. It can be very athletic and competitive. But I was visiting my daughter, who went to University of Texas. I lost one out of 4, right? And and so I was over there. This is 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and at a little sorority event, and went to a pickleball facility for the first time, and like a multi-purpose pickleball facility where there's outdoor games, and there was a great bar and a great vibe and a feel, and I was like, wow, Baton Rouge could use one of these. And I wasn't even thinking just from a profit standpoint, or I was just thinking, wouldn't it be great to bring something like this to Baton Rouge, because we lack in some areas, right?
Sure.
And it's just for entertainment and cultural value and things like that. So I came home, and my business partner Ozzie Fernandez, who owned some of the restaurants around towns, and he's a great guy. And I said, like, I got an idea, but it needs a food and beverage program. I don't do anything like that without you. He said yes. Bob Barton, another good friend of mine, who is the Taylor Porter managing attorney, and he does stuff for LSU. He's a big pickleball fanatic, and he thinks he's the best in town, literally, And told him about it, and all of a sudden we said, well, let's do it. And we came across this property that was had been sitting over there on Burbank for a while, the Shed, the old Oasis, the volleyball, outdoor sand volleyball, and got it at a good bargain. And we thought we were on our way, and it's everything's going to be coming under budget, and we're going to be great. And here we are, way over budget and past time. And hopefully that Baton Rouge will take to our vision and come out and support it.
What is so do we have a timeline?
Yeah. So the grand opening to the public is going to be June 27th. That's a Friday.
Okay.
I was fighting and doing everything I could to get it open about 2 weeks from now, projecting that LSU baseball would be going storming their way through the playoffs, and that we'd have all these great weekends watching the games and playing pickleball, but just couldn't manage it. So we're going to open just after we win the World Series, right? Because that'll be, I think, that 22nd or something is when the last game.
Yeah, you're going to go by 8,888 yellow shots again?
We're going to have to go higher than that. If we're back, we got to break that record.
How do you what are you going to do it twice?
I don't know. I'm going to call the Chicken Finger King, my buddy. I'm going to say, Todd, how do you want to do this? Let's just be obnoxious about it.
I did see on the Court to Table Instagram, there's a job fair. So May 28th to 30th. So it's coming up in a little more than a week.
That's correct.
And then also June 2nd to June 4th.
Correct.
So people just show up there.
People show up. We'll be hiring. It's a big project. I mean, it's quite a project with the number of employees that we're going to have, the number of people that we're going to serve. 11 pickleball courts. We have a music stage and venue set up for live music. We got outdoor games. We have fire pits. It's gonna be great.
Do you think so? I love business. I think a lot of people who know me talk about it a bunch. But do you think so? I always look at something like that, the location, which is so prime on Burbank, but then you see things like the Shed not succeed there, and you go, all right, is it the location? What is it? What's going to make Court to Table work there?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think our concept's a little more united, right? I think the Shed, from what I understand from some of its operators, just didn't have a vision all the time and weren't tight kind of in how they were running it. Then when you bring in someone like Ozzie, who has a great food and beverage history, and the amount of money we're putting into it, I think you're going to walk in and say, wow, this really doesn't exist in Baton Rouge. The scale and the scope and the degree of amenities that we're bringing to it, I think Baton Rouge is going to be impressed with it. And we're going to do lots of corporate events, so anybody out there, we've already had probably 7 or 8 bookings this year from companies around town, we want to book out the whole thing, right?
Really cool.
For a night, yeah.
That's there's the Instagram. There's a video of Ozzy. He's holding the G spatula there.
You know me.
I love it. So good.
He's
man.
great. Yeah, he's so talented.
So end of June.
June 27th. Yep.
June 27th will be the grand opening.
It'll be the grand opening. We'll have a music act that night and everything. So it'll be great. There's a lot of live music, which is there's not enough good live music here in town, right?
You know what's interesting? When I was, we have really deviated, but I don't care. I think it's a fascinating convo. When I was in school at LSU, downtown, like 3rd Street, was kind of becoming that. And they were trying to model it after 6th Street in Austin.
Right. Yeah.
Live music.
That's right.
Pedestrian street, walkable, bars, restaurants, all the stuff. And at some point along the way, G, it just kind of like pause. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not plugged in enough to know why or what happened and all that stuff. But you're right. I mean, conceptually, Baton Rouge as a college town, and that still serves both the college population and the general population of our city, needs more concepts like this.
It does.
Things, which is awesome. I don't play pickleball, but I'll go there and I'll eat some great food and have a margarita and listen to music.
Play some yard games, cornhole and different, all that. It's gonna be, we're going to have all of that out there.
What about shuffleboard?
There's shuffleboard. Yeah.
You're going to have shuffleboard in there.
There's a shuffleboard area.
Boy, that for me is addicting.
That's addicting.
Well, you give me a shuffleboard table, I'll sit there all night. I'll slide those discs. I don't know if that's exactly what you're supposed to call, like if they're little. Man, I'll sit there and do that all night.
Played that the other day.
Did you really? Are you good?
I'm pretty good.
We have to have some type of friendly wager. If you beat me in shuffleboard, then I'll go duck hunting with you.
Or that if I beat you, you're going to buy me a really nice bottle of wine.
I can do
that.
that.
If you beat me, I'll buy you a really nice bottle of whiskey.
Either that works for me.
That?
You're on. Deal.
Right.
Gordon McKernan here for a couple of more minutes. As we look forward to July 1st, which we presume is going to be when Rev Share happens, do you think that I'm trying to think of a way to ask this appropriately. Like, do you think that LSU remains competitive with the upper echelon?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's been a commitment over the last handful of months by some big donors coming in above. I know Scott Woodward and the administration is committed to funding Rev Share to 100% of whatever's allowed, right? It should go up, right, through time. So we've got that. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. Now, I asked Scott about this the other day, just saying, how many of the SEC schools will fund to 100%? Football. You think Vanderbilt's going to fund that to 100%? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mississippi State? I don't know. That's a big chunk of money to take out of your budget. And so you start breaking it down like that. Then above that, which schools have the ability for the donors above that to say, okay, we're still give you some money. Obviously, Texas A&M have that. And then from there, how committed are the rest of the schools? And I do think right now, based upon what I'm hearing, there's a strong commitment from the LSU donor base and business base to continue doing it.
So you think, if I'm hearing you correctly, part of funding the Rev Share is going to come from donor dollars?
No, the Rev Share is just from the athletic department dollars.
Right.
But above that, you're going to still see.
You're going to need more.
Yeah, you're going to need more. And there's going to be, obviously administration and stuff trying to awaken the dollars from the business base and the donor base to continue to hire these athletes for their name, image, and likeness for their businesses, right? Yeah.
It's I don't think this conversation is going anywhere, and it's never boring because it is sort of fundamental to how the future of college athletics is being shaped.
Right.
You've been at the forefront of that now for 4 years, whether you wanted to or not, man. You just sort of like threw yourself into it, and all of a sudden, here you are.
Yeah, I had no idea I'd end up here. I just thought, K-Shawn, it'd be fun. Let's see what happens, and here it is 4 years later. Yeah.
Any regrets on anything you do differently?
You learn as you go, and you learn how. I'm not saying sometimes the young student athlete might take advantage of if they can, but you learn some smarter ways to structure your contracts and your deals where you're not chasing so much, and there's an understanding, and it's just more rhythmic as to how you do things.
Yeah. You want to elaborate?
Well, it's just
you're very, very adept there.
I'm not trying to cast aspersions, but just the younger generation sometime, maybe they need a little more hand-holding than I would like to do.
Sure.
Because I look at, like, we're having a little business agreement here. We're partners, but do your part, I'll do my part. Well, sometimes this younger generation doesn't always want to do their part, and then you end up chasing, and that's not part of the deal.
Well, I know there's a lot of LSU fans, and not just LSU, but I mean, I was noticing on your social media, just did deal with.
Yeah.
Tulane athlete, Southern athlete. I mean, it's been really all universities in both men's and women's revenue, non-revenue sports, and it's been a pretty cool thing to watch.
Yeah.
So it's always our pleasure.
Yeah,
Appreciate you jumping in for a couple of minutes whenever you can.
Yeah,
I know you're a busy guy. Gordon McKernan, make sure you go to Get Gordon on all the socials at Get Gordon or GetGordon.com, GetGordon.com, and report to table the job fair May 28th to the 30th and June 2nd and 4th with an grand opening on June 27th. It'd be a really cool thing in Baton Rouge, so looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I'll make sure I pencil. You know what? I'm going to be at the beach on that date. But when we're back, I'll be there. I'll be there. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. Gordon McKernan. Well, now I got a quick break and wrap up AFR next.
AFR.
Drink Evermore, EVA-MOR, Evermore.com. I always got my Evermore right here on the table, and I practice what I preach. Over the last year, really filtered tap water out of my diet. Evermore is natural artesian water. It is a healthier alternative, and it's a Louisiana product. Evermore, EVA-MOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. It's from a natural artesian well on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They've built the bottling facility around the well. So when you turn into the facility, like you see the well right there in the front. The water's pumped into the facility. The only thing that's filtered out of it is like the sediment from the ground, and then it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take the first delicious sip. You want a healthier option for your children. You want a better form of hydration. Maybe you're an elite athlete. You just want a healthier option for your family, for you. Drink Evermore. EVA-MOR. You can find it at great local retailers and online at evermore.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR. Remember our friends over at Supper Club. You can book your reservations at supperclubbtr.com. Supperclubbtr.com. They're closed today. Closed Sunday, Monday. They'll be open again tomorrow. And look, told you at graduation for my niece just yesterday. Maybe it's graduation season. As we're getting closer to Father's Day, birthdays, anniversary, anything you're going to celebrate, go experience Supper Club. Get your reservation, or maybe it's just a Tuesday and you're knocking off of work. You don't feel like going home, pop into Supper Club. Always open seating at the bar, amazing wine list, whiskey selection, and a menu that is absolutely one of a kind. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. Start getting your Father's Day reservations now. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Think Supper Club. All right, final segment here of the show. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Good, Matthew. How about you?
I'm doing awesome, man. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, man. It was good. I played some golf down at Fallen Oak, the Butterbage tournament. So
Not bad.
Good.
Did you have Scheffler?
No, I did not. No, it did not. So.
How'd you do with the ponies?
Very good.
Okay,
Did good.
there we go.
Yeah.
When I was asking how your weekend was, that's really what I was asking.
Okay, yeah. Baseball was good. College and Major League Baseball. Basketball was not. Hockey was very good. So, a little mixed bag. So,
all right, man. All right.
Yeah. We're already on the board at PNC in Pittsburgh. So the Reds already scratched one across. So we laid the 115 with the Reds there. And that might be enough the way the Pirates are hitting these days. So, it is getting real old real quick with the support of Paul Skeens up there, man.
Yeah, man.
Another 1-0 loss. He's 3-5 this year and has pitched great and is the overwhelming odds-on favorite right now for the NL Cy Young with the losing record right now. Their lineup is really bad. Cincinnati coming off of a sweep, so Cincinnati has underperformed for most of the season, early season, but they are maybe they catch a little fire. So already leading 1-0 in Pittsburgh.
All right.
The Baltimore Orioles, talking about underperforming, they are, besides the White Sox and the Rockies, they're probably the worst team in Major League Baseball. They've already fired their manager. That didn't help. They got shellacked all 3 games at home this past weekend in the Beltway Series against the Nationals. So we're going to keep betting against them. Milwaukee minus 112 tonight at home against the Brewers. Best team in Major League Baseball, the Detroit Tigers. How about that, huh? Minnesota's won like 14 or 15. They're still 5 back of the Detroit Tigers. Detroit goes on the road tonight at a plus price there. Hey, we're going to ride them plus 136. And then the Dodgers. Dodgers have lost last couple of games to the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. Arizona comes in. The pitching matchup favors the Diamondbacks plus money. We'll go with Arizona as well.
All right, so the Reds, the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Diamondbacks, your 4 plays tonight for Otter Locks. Of course, they're all live up at LouisianaSports.net, where you can always get Otter Locks for free there. Yeah, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, just, and, we'll be, a lot of day baseball starting tomorrow, so if we do have some college picks, we'll put them up, during the day before 5:50. We'll come put them on the website as well. There's going to be a lot of college tournaments underway tomorrow.
Perfect. Where are you tomorrow?
Mike Anderson.
Very good.
Come on by, baby. Yes, indeed.
Go get you a Dalrymple salad.
Yes, indeed. The Dalrymple salad. It's the Burn side. It's really good.
It is really good. All right, Otter, we appreciate it always. Be good, man. We'll talk tomorrow. Good luck. Again, your 4 Otter Locks for tonight. The Cincinnati Reds, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Detroit Tigers, the Arizona Diamondbacks, all on the money line. So pleased to welcome a new partner of ours here on After Further Review, and one that, when I was approached about it, just made so much sense the more I thought about it. Our Lady of the Lake, a new partner here on After Further Review. When I was in Key Club in high school, I used to donate time. I used to volunteer at the Ronald McDonald Children's room over at our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital when it was on the 3rd floor of the campus on Essen. Whenever the fundraising began to build the standalone children's hospital, it was early in my time here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, became very active in those fundraisers, even emceed their fiesta for several years over at the Governor's Mansion. The Driving the Future, the 5-car giveaway, been involved in that every year. And even at Parish Construction and Roofing, just a few weeks ago, we had the 5 cars at our place for a full week. The standalone children's hospital has been something that my family's benefited from, as Drew has specialists that he sees there at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. My own general practitioner, my GP, is Dr. Kurt Chastain with Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health. So when I think about Our Lady of the Lake in the many ways throughout the many stages of my life I've been involved with OLOL, this was such an obvious and easy partnership that I was thrilled to do. And of course, Our Lady of the Lake is a champion partner, champion health partner with LSU, as well as the official championship health partner of LSU. Our Lady of the Lake is transforming health care from clinical excellence in sports medicine, student health, breakthrough research, medical education, and we're thrilled to be able to tell you much more about our new partner here on After Further Review, Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. All right, y'all, we're coming down the home stretch here of After Further Review on this Monday edition here. We could do what we learned. Hey, it's time, right, Muse? We have a minute left. We could do what we learned, right?
I mean, yeah.
What did you learn, Muse? Did you learn anything?
I learned that Mickey Loomis has said everything he needs to say on the Derek Carr situation.
Oh, God.
I mean, just a man of many words.
If you missed anything, of course, it's on demand, but we did talk about Loomis earlier today out at the Saints Hall of Fame golf tournament, refusing to say anything about Derek Carr, which is infuriating. Hey, Paulie, how was the beach?
It was great.
Perfect.
Got some sun. Toes in the sand, the usual.
There it is.
Couple drinks.
Paul ran through his entire beach trip in 6 seconds. I knew you'd do it, Paulie. When we had 20 seconds left in the show, that's all I needed. All right, it's going to do it for us here. Thanks to Gordon McKernan, came in studio. David Dellucci was here. Michael Brockers was here. Muse, Paulie, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Hey, I want to remind you of the many, many, many services that we offer. Roof repairs, check. Roof replacements, check. Commercial roofing, check. Residential roofing, check. We also do gutters. As a matter of fact, last week we went and awarded our $10,000 check giveaway, and it was a customer who called for a gutter job. So if you need gutters, we can do that for you. We fabricate our own metal. And we do soft washing. So it's about that time. You're doing your spring cleaning. You're looking at the exterior of your home, your sidewalk, your driveway, and your roof. We can soft wash the whole thing for you as well. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. Mostly, I tell you every day, do business with someone you know. You go to the homepage of our website, you see a video testimonial from Kim Mulkey. It's good enough for Coach, good enough for you and me. parishbuilt.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community.